and welcome to the American Literature Talk Show. I'm Ryan Seacrest, and here today we have a special guest speaker, the writer of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain. Mark, welcome.
Hello, Ryan.
So, Mark, how were you inspired to write this thrilling adventure story carrying such a good message?
I started off writing it as a sequel to my first book, Tom Sawyer. It turned into a model for how white Americans viewed people of color around the 1830s.
So, Mark, how do you respond to the critics that call this book both racist and disrespectful towards God?
I didn't write this book intending to be racist. I was only pointing out the truth about people being racist towards people of color. As for God, most people, especially children in the lower class, which is where Huck comes from, were unsure about God and their own beliefs. And once again, I was just pointing out the truth about human behavior.
Thank you. Very, very good. What is some of the ways that Huck and Jim's relationship helped break down the walls towards racism?
In the story, Huck and Jim grow closer as they travel down the river, and people see their friendship as a good way for whites and people of color to bond. And their relationship helps show that colored people have feelings too, and that white people are allowed to care about them, even if that wasn't common belief.
Well, thank you, Mark. We now have, believe it or not, the real Huckleberry Finn in the building right now. So we are going to bring him out and see what he has to say about this.
A little cheddar makes plain veggies taste better. But take the cheddar cheese away and you can just say,
no way!
'Cause cheddar cheese makes all the difference.
Hooray!
On all kinds of vegetables, cheese makes all the difference.
Welcome back from the break. Right now, we have the real Huckleberry Finn in the studio with us. Welcome in. So, Huck, how did your position on racism change throughout the book?
Throughout the book, spending time with Jim, traveling down the river, I really began to think of him as more of an equal and my friend. Once I got to know him and realized he had a family, just like I did, he was a person just like me, regardless of the color of his skin.
Very thoughtful of you. So, numerous times during the story, you were faced with challenges which you wheedled your way out of using your quick mind. How did you do this?
Usually, I just got an idea and ran with it. But growing up with Tom, we always got ourselves into trouble. It just comes with practice.
Speaking of Tom, by the end of the book, when Tom shows up at the Phelps and begins helping you steal Jim away, how did Tom's presence affect your relationship with Jim?
Well, I always looked up to Tom, and I thought he was doing what was best. But really, he wasn't thinking of Jim as a person at all, more than an object to use in an adventure story. Tom didn't really understand how much Jim meant to me. He still thought of Jim being beneath him.
Well, what if I told you Jim was here in the building right this moment?
I'd freak out!
Well, bring out Jim.
So, this is The Hobbit. Buy The Hobbit, an unexpected journey, and experience the beginning of the world's greatest adventure. With nearly 2 hours of production journals from director Peter Jackson.
Who's as precious? They will eat it.
Own The Hobbit, and you can join a worldwide live event hosted by Peter Jackson, in which he will reveal a first look at the next movie in the Hobbit trilogy. This exclusive live event can only be seen one way. You must own The Hobbit, an unexpected journey.
Welcome, Jim. How are you this evening?
I'm doing swell. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, being a slave and all, how could you trust Huck not to turn you in?
I always knew that there was goodness inside of that boy, and I always knew he cared about me. And he always kept his word, and he promised me that he would not tell on me.
Thank you, Jim. We have talked a little bit about Tom tonight, and knowing you could have left the Phelps house at any time, why didn't you?
Well, part of me was afraid that if I just left on my own, Tom would turn me in and I'd be back as a slave. But another part of me really didn't want to leave Huck behind.
Well, now that you're a freed man, what are your plans for the future?
I'm going to buy my family so they are also free, and I'm going to head up north.
Well, there you have it, folks. A few words from the friendly folks of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Thank you tonight, and we'll see you next week. Hello, and welcome talk show. I'm Ryan. Don't laugh. I'm here, Ryan Seacrest, with guest speaker today.
Oh my god!
Ow.